Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy Yays back with another video, and today I want to talk with you guys about Icarus. They had a beta this last weekend, the 28th, 29th, and I hopped on it, played it for about 8 to 10 hours, so I think I got a good feel to sort of give my opinions on the game and talk about the base game systems, just give you guys a general idea of how the game works. And I'll obviously, as always, throw up some gameplay right here and some stuff like that, and some overlays to show you guys sort of what I'm talking about, and so you guys can understand. But yeah, so I guess let's hop right into it. So Icarus is a up to 8 player, solo to 8 player, survival PvE game that takes place on a world called Icarus. Big surprise. And it's basically about a human terraforming experiment gone wrong. They're trying to make another Earth, and so there's these things called exotics on the planet that you are trying to basically harvest because they're very valuable. Because from my understanding, I could be wrong on this, they're sort of you can use them to make anything, and so they're extremely valuable for that reason. And you're basically going there on a quote-unquote gold rush for exotics to try and make a bunch of money, and then go back home with it, right? So you can be a successful businessman or whatever. So, start of the game, you drop down into whatever expedition site is what they call them. You go on X-day expeditions, so that expeditions will be a certain amount of time, and if you don't get back to your drop pod in time, you're dead. That's like the restriction. That's kind of what makes the game difficult, but it's also a really good part of the gameplay loop that keeps the game intriguing, along with keeping you advancing in the game and not letting you settle too long in one place and get too set up in one area, basically. Which I think is a really good mechanic. It keeps you moving up the ladder. It keeps you advancing. And so basically, you go to these expeditions, and you're there for a certain amount of time, and you're trying to collect as many exotics as you can in that expedition, and get back to your drop pod within the time, in order to go back up to your space station and buy upgrades and things so you can enter harder areas and get more exotics. That's the basic gameplay loop, but you also have missions from different factions back on Earth to do and things, and different achievements you can do, and different trades you can make for armor and things. Basically, you can upgrade through your gameplay loop. So, at the beginning of the game, you drop down into your expedition in a drop pod, and you exit the drop pod, and you basically have nothing, and you go around, and similar to Ark, you go and you pick up bushes, you pick up fiber from bushes, and you can grab berries off of some bushes, and you grab rocks and things, and then grab some sticks off trees and stuff, and you craft a stone axe and a stone pickaxe, and you go and mine some stone and stuff, and sort of get better materials up for your tools. However, in order to unlock more tools for higher upgrades, they also take something from Ark called the tech tree. So, the tech tree is similar to Ark, where you have points that you gain every level, and you invest them into learning blueprints. However, in this game, you get 3 tech tree points every level, as far as I know, up to level 20, like I said, as far as I went, and it is still beta, so things are up to change. I want to remind everyone, this is a beta. I like to remind anyone, anytime a game is being tested, I like to make sure of that. So, you get 3 tech tree points. You invest 3 tech tree points into whatever 3 blueprints you want to learn. A bow, a bedroll, a bow, a bedroll, a new axe, maybe an iron pickaxe, whatever number of things, and there's a tree. And as you level up, you unlock new slots and things in order to get better stuff. So, on top of that, when you level up, you get you get a talent point. And I like to compare this skill tree to Borderlands. You get 4 different skill trees, sort of: survival, crafting, combat, and solo. So for solo players, there's a specific tree that's basically optimized for solo play. You don't have to use it, but you can. And these talent trees give you things like increased durability on your weapons, and mining equipment. Makes it so they lose less durability per hit, makes it so they swing faster and collect faster, a bigger mining radius so they collect more materials at once. You can give them, and then you can also get increased storage capacity, increased weight capacity, increased building speed of items, because certain items take longer to construct and things. You can reduce the weight of certain items that you carry, so you can decrease the weight of a stone buildable or an iron buildable or iron itself and things, so you can carry more of it. Lots of varied talents that make the game interesting and add a really interesting gameplay loop, and since those are stuck to your specific character, you can make multiple characters. You can sort of build a character for different gameplays. You can have one that you play with one group of friends, and you play a certain role in that group, and maybe you're the main explorer and collector in that group, so you take the mining tree, but maybe in another group, you're the main person that's building the house, so you take the construction skill route, so you can build the house resources faster and cheaper, and make your life just overall easier for yourself. And so it allows for different gameplay loops every single game, and I think that's a really interesting and a really good system to have. So moving on from that, the way you mine into rocks and things is really interesting. It sort of takes the Valheim system where you break pieces of it off rather than just mining it and then eventually it breaks like an arc and things. So it's, like I said, I'll throw a video up so you'll see an example of it, but you mine into the rocks and it makes a hole as you go through it. And then when you chop trees, they actually fall over, and then basically like Valheim, you chop them and it breaks into pieces. So I really like this game because it takes, so far, it's taking Valheim, Ark, and Rust and sort of combining them all into one. And it's a really interesting game concept, right? So you chop the wood up, you grab the wood pieces, and that's the basic collection system, and it's it's same for ores. You'll find ore veins inside of stone sometimes, so it can actually be rewarding to look around, because sometimes on a stone, you could find a gold vein inside of it, and you mine inside the stone to get to the gold vein, essentially. It's a really cool mechanic, and I like that it rewards being attentive and actually exploring the map and paying attention to where you're going. And then you have to manage oxygen, hunger, and thirst. Thirst, you can drink from any generic water source, lakes, rivers, whatever. You can also store it in canteens that you can get in things through your crafting recipes. And then food is pretty obvious. Grab meat, berries, wheat, things like that, make it into bread. Pretty unsurprising standard mechanic for eating. And the oxygen one is where the interesting one comes in. So, the planet doesn't have oxygen that's breathable by normal humans, basically. So you have to get this mineral called oxite that you are able to convert into oxygen to be breathed through your suit. And you can hold up to 100%, obviously. And you can put you can slot oxite into your suit in order to gain oxygen over time. Or you can make more efficient and lighter things, little air pockets and things to slot into your armor pieces that will provide you oxygen over time that way. But it just requires you to do a little more work and produce the oxygen through an oxide dispenser that you can craft and dispense oxide containers or oxygen containers through. So it's a really interesting system that sort of requires you to pay more attention to what you're doing, and you sort of have to manage your food, water, and those aren't that difficult typically because you can carry water containers and food on you and they don't go bad that fast. It's really the oxygen that's the main struggle. A lot of the time you want to be carrying an extra air bladder, or you want to be carrying 100 oxide on you to make sure you can slot it into your suit or consume it in order to restore your oxygen. So it's a pretty hectic and dangerous game, honestly, and I think those systems make it really fun. The tech tree is really interesting because you have a tech tree that starts at level 10, and it has a section essentially for level 0 through 10, and once you hit level 10, you unlock a tier 2 of the tech tree, and now you're going from the tech tree to 10 to 20, and you unlock tier 3 of the tech tree, and essentially the materials get more advanced, allowing you to craft more things like better oxygen bladders, better crafting tables, oxygen restoration paste, healing restoration paste, stamina regeneration pastes, and different herbal things that'll help you heal and things like that, or help you regenerate stamina faster. You can craft better weapons. And so it's a really interesting system that sort of makes you progress in a way that's freer than Ark, but still makes you progress, I think. And so it's a really, really cool system. The building system is pretty standard, I think. It's sort of a, it's like Rust Ark sort of thing where you pull it up, it shows a little green outline of it, and just left click to place it down. This game does have structural integrity, so you will need to place columns and pillars or whatever, supports basically, to keep your building from falling down if you want to build multiple floors. One floor, not really a big deal, but once you pass one floor, you have to start building beams to support it, which is a really interesting system. It doesn't feel too obtrusive, but it feels realistic enough to where you should care about it, because you'll build a third floor and be like, oh crap, my walls are collapsing. And if you deconstruct a wall by your own choice, you get the materials back. However, if a wall starts collapsing and breaks, you lose all the material that went into it. So it kind of sucks, and you kind of want to worry about it. So the building system has a little bit of depth. Nothing insane, but it has enough depth. It has enough depth to be interesting to someone who enjoys building and things, and it has railings and things, and you can build bridges and stuff like that. On the topic of building, there can be disasters and things that happen in the game, and if you catch on fire and run through the woods, you can catch other things on fire, and you can cause these massive forest fires that just spread to all the wood on the area, and in order to put them out, you need water bombs or fire whacker and all these things, and it's like an event, right? You have to actually worry about fire and take care of your base and stuff, and it's something that you don't really see in a ton of games, right? In most games, you kind of build your base and just leave it, and it's there, it exists, and you go back to it whenever. But this game, you sort of have to check up on your base and make sure it's not burning down and be managing it, while also trying to get exotics, while also managing the timer to extract, while also managing your oxygen and food and water and trying to be efficient enough to get exotics, while not venturing too far and dying because you could lose everything. So there's a lot of systems to manage, and it's a really cool game. The 8 hours I played, really enjoyed it. And those are sort of the basic systems of Icarus. If you are interested in playing it, there's going to be another beta weekend on the... I want to make sure I get this right. Yeah, so there will be a beta weekend on the 10th to the 11th of September. No, 3rd to 4th of September. My bad. 3rd to 4th of September. Yeah, so there's going to be another beta weekend on the 3rd to 4th of September. You can grab the game's basic edition for $30 or the deluxe edition for $90, which gives you all the DLC and a special suit that's sort of a small boost, but nothing really major. So if you're interested in checking it out, you can buy it for $30 or $90 for the deluxe edition. And if you don't like the game, you don't enjoy it, from what I know, you can return the game at any time before release, so you can get your money back if you didn't enjoy the game. But I am going to make another video, hopefully in the next day or two, sort of talking more in depth about what I disliked, what I liked about the game, what I think could be improved upon, what I think needs to be changed, and overall what my gameplay experience was. This video was just a general talk about what the game is, so that if anyone's interested in it, they can go ahead and check it out. But if you want to see my criticism video on the game, go ahead and subscribe, turn on that notification bell. It'll be releasing in the next few days. And thank you guys so much for watching. Check out my Twitch if you enjoyed also. It's down in the description below. And I will see you guys in the next video. This is your boy Yays. Peace out.